GOAT here, the greatest of all time sports fan traveler, on a non-sports travel day. In fact, on the day he's heading back to homeland, the United States of America. It is 27 June 2024. Before I tell you who I am, I left the United States on 31 May 2024, destination Georgetown, Guyana. It's supposed to be Rainbow Suriname, but Copa Airlines screwed up my ticket. More on that later. Now, let's get to the most important thing of the day, other than the fact that, look at me, have I told you lately that I'm pretty? I just did, fool. The most important thing of the day, other than the fact that the sun is hitting me and the prettiest thing there was, is now, and will be, is where is Mr. Sports Traveler, the Pope, the Granddaddy, the King, the man, the most gifted, the most talented, the only greatest sports fan traveler in the universe. Where am I? On a non-sports travel day, the day I'm heading home to the United States of America. Final destination, San Diego, my home. I am in rock and roll, ain't no noise pollution. I made it to St. Lucia. It don't rhyme, it's pretty close. Now, I am exactly on the southeastern tip of the island of St. Lucia in the Caribbean, man. And what was I doing here? Of course, to see some sports, dude. I saw football when I got here the night I arrived in Soufrière. Now, I'm going to point out to you about where I was. And you can watch some video and some pictures of that. Then I went and saw some cricket. That was a ticket because I didn't even pay for the ticket because I saw a free match on Hillview Road. Watch that video too, brothers and sisters. And then I saw some sailing takes me away to where I'm going. I saw it the same day I saw cricket. And in the last couple of days, I haven't seen any sports at all. But I've seen the island. So now, let me give you a little Panorama, sponsored by my 3 girls from Panorama, who owe me some money. Now, you're going to really find this quite breathtaking. First of all, before I even move the tripod, which I will momentarily, if you look in the distance, boys and girls, you can see a triangular piton coming up from the sea. There are 2 large pitons, P-I-T-O-N-S. And as I told you in the football video, I was smitten by the pitons because one of those 2 pitons was in the background of the football stadium, the Soufrière Mini Stadium, where I saw semi-pro football here in St. Lucia. That's right. Highest level of football in St. Lucia, the brothers get paid. They also have real jobs, but at least they get some money for playing. So, to the left there, you can see one of the pitons. To the right, should be this way. Making no sense, right? This way. Is the other piton. Now that one looks smaller, probably because it's further away, and actually I think it is a little smaller. Now that is the piton that I believe is in the background of my football pictures and my football video when I was on the pitch, or close to the pitch, on the edge of the pitch, on Sunday, 23 June. I've been here since Sunday, 23 June. It's Thursday, 27 June. Now, this part of the coast here, you see over on this side, the West is the best. That's why I live in San Diego. And over here, we got the eastern side. Now I'll go and give you a little bit more of a panorama sponsored by my girls from Panorama over here. So you can see I'm on the southern tip of rock and roll, ain't no noise pollution. I'm in St. Lucia. Now, you might not be able to tell, but directly behind me, right over there, boys and girls, you see a little tip? That is the international airport. There's 2 airports here in St. Lucia. There's an airport that does serve some international flights near the capital of the street, which is that direction, further north than the pitons, but only serves Caribbean international destinations like Barbados, Dominica, I think Trinidad, maybe Martinique. how I got here, by the way, is I took the ferry from Martinique. I'm going to take the ferry down from Martinique. Little Jimmy Buffett there. So the international airport is right here. So the huge airports. I'm going to Miami, where everybody's got a cousin. That's where I'm flying to. And then I switch planes to San Diego. But you can fly direct to New York City from here. In fact, I met a couple last night from India who were here for the cricket. They were flying back to New York City on an overnight flight here, right here. So right on the edge there, you can see the runway of the international airport. What a beautiful scenic view. You can see clouds rolling in, and we're at the southern tip. So I'm going to grab the tripod now. And before I do that, I'll give you an overview of what has happened this year and what I have seen on this trip here in the Caribbean. Then I will do the final, wrap it up with the panorama. So I've seen football, basketball on 6 continents within the first 6 months of this year. I can't make this shit up, folks. So in January, I was in Oceania, Australia. Saw football, Americans, that would be soccer. And I saw basketball in Australia. I also saw baseball, indoor field hockey, because I am the greatest of all time. Sports fan traveler. If there's a Mount Rushmore, I'm the only one on it. If there's a Hall of Fame for sports fan traveler, I'm the first and only inductee in the first class. I said I was the greatest sports traveler. I never said I was the greatest enunciator. And then in February, I took time off. Hey, I'm allowed that, right? It's a hard life. And then in March, I went to Europe. Eastern and Western Europe. I saw football. I saw basketball. I saw in Serbia. I saw in Poland. And in the western part, I went to Spain, Germany, Italy, France. I'm losing count. Denmark, Belgium, England. I'm so pretty. It's scary how pretty I am. I can't be scary because I'm pretty. So that was March. And then in April, and before I left, by the way, in March, I celebrated my mother's 80th birthday. March 11th in Orlando, Florida, where my mother lived. My parents moved from Connecticut to Florida when I was in college. I gained a little knowledge and learned how to score in 1992, January 1992. They moved to Florida. My dad passed in 1999, as many of you know. He was my hero. Website is dedicated to my dad. He was the man. But my mom was the GOAT mom. More on my mom in a minute. So I saw my mom on 11 March before I left for Europe. 12 March, I was at a football match in England. All right. So then in April, I go to Africa and the Middle East to watch football and basketball. Talking Tunisia, Egypt, Qatar, sweet as butter, Saudi Arabia, UAE, place to be, Kuwait, Iraq, Jack, Jordan. I was all over the place. And then I get a message from my brother that my mom's not doing too good. And long story short, my mom had 80 great years and she passed on 25 April. So I returned to the United States and I took May off to help plan 2 services that we had. Because if you're the GOAT mom, you get 2 services, one in Florida and one in Connecticut where I grew up. So we had 2 services. I delivered the eulogy. And we honored my mom for 80 great years. My dad had 57 great years. My mom had 80 great years. So in May, except for 31 May, that's what I was doing. I was home planning with my brother. My brother did most of the planning, all the planning, more or less. I did the eulogy and some of the planning to honor my mom. So 31 May, I went to Guyana, saw basketball and cricket. Then I went to Suriname. I saw football under 16. And that's 6 continents now to see football. Suriname, Guyana, both of them are in South America. And then I came back into North America when I landed in Barbados in the Caribbean, where I saw some cricket. I even saw volleyball. I even saw women's rugby practice in Barbados. And then I went to Grenada where I saw some football and some cricket. And then I went to back to Barbados and I saw some horse racing. Then I went to Port of Spain, where I saw some hoop, and I saw some track jack. And then I went to Dominica, where I saw them almost come back and tie or upset Jamaica in the World Cup qualifier. That was on 9 June, where it was a swoon. And then I went to St. Kitts, and I got my kicks as they beat Bahamas 1-0. in the capital. And then I went to St. Vincent and I saw cricket. And after St. Vincent, I went to Antigua and Barbuda. I hadn't seen no sports, but I went to the old cricket ground there. Then I went to St. Martin. I just chilled out there. Before, I went to the ABC Islands, but I went backwards. I went to the CBA Islands. I went to Curacao and saw some baseball on 16 June. I need to catch my breath, I'm talking so fast. Then I went to Bonaire with a lot of flair. I didn't see no sports there, but then I went to Aruba, which is kind of Cuba. It doesn't rhyme, but I'm trying. This is all in the pan, flash in the pan. I saw baseball in Aruba. Then I went back to St. Martin. I ain't no farting. I saw baseball. I saw track check. I saw tennis. Then I flew to Guadeloupe. That's the scoop. Saw no sports there. Then I went to Martinique. I saw some football. Americans beat soccer. And then I took a ferry here to St. Lucia, where ain't no rock and roll pollution. As you can see, it's kind of green and clean and mean and lean and pretty, like me. Woo, that was pretty good rhyming. Bust a move, bust it. You know, one of my favorite songs in high school growing up? I sucked at high school. I went to 3 high schools in 5 years. But I did graduate with honors, so just like in sports, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So there was a song by Todd, I think it was, God, who's the name of the artist? It's not Tone Loc. But the song is, bust a move. In the city, ladies look pretty. Guys tell jokes so they can see witty. You know the song I'm talking about. So anyway, I was just all over the place here in the Caribbean. Busting a move here, there, and everywhere. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I present to you the long-awaited Panorama. Sponsored by my 3 girls from Panorama. Let's do it. Ah! So, here is the eastern coast of rock and roll ain't noise pollution, St. Lucia. And there, as I was telling you, is the airport. And there's the pittance. There is Pitton number 1 and Pitton number 2. And this is the west coast right here. This second car here, the little one, that's my rental car. And then up here, got ourselves a tower, some towers and a viewpoint. And now we're back, Jack. So there you go, boys and girls. You got yourself a nice Panorama, sponsored by me, the GOAT, and my 3 girls from Bananarama. Hopefully the tripod don't fall. Tripod, please don't fall. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed the view. A little recap of my trip here in the Caribbean. The GOAT's got to move on now. We'll see you in the next video.